I'm going to continue with the third, let's call it a pillar of discovering meaning in life and business. And this pillar is your mindset. This is nourishing and growing your success mindset. And it has to do with self-confidence. It has to do with self-awareness. And there are lots of techniques that you can apply every day to reach this state of success mindset. So whenever you apply a technique and whenever you find new information, I'd like to briefly guide you through the steps that go inside your brain in order for you to reach this state of mind, of success mindset. So let's say I were to say now, remember a time when you were very successful. What is the success that you reached? Can you remember? And I will tell you that people usually have a difficulty writing their successes. If I say, write down 3 successes that you've had, and they start questioning, was I really successful? Would other people see it as a success? Was this really a success? What was the big deal that I actually achieved? I don't think I've ever had any successes. This is the mindset most people have, because they don't recognize that the success is according to your judgment. It's not how other people see you. It's not how society would judge you, because if we face it, society is not what media portrays as successes. If you were to ask 5 people around you, can you tell me what successes I've had, if they know you well, they will probably tell you a different thing than what you expect to hear, according to societal judgment of what success is. And if you think about it, if you are in sales and you have a sales target, let's say you need to sell 5,000 units this year of whatever you're selling, and you're selling 6,000 units this year, this is again it's like the utility of salary, it's the utility of success. Will this success do you good? Will you feel more successful, or will the utility even diminish? This depends mostly on the level of your integrity between what you're doing and what you define as success and your values. Are you acting with integrity towards your values? And this is the only way you can measure success. So if your values are only sales, 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 which are, as a matter of fact, for very few people, money is the highest value. For a very few people, as a matter of fact, you would have to be somewhat impaired, mentally impaired, if this is your highest value. It's just simply impossible from human nature. But if your value were money and you're overshooting your targets, sales targets, then you would say, yes, this was my success. But otherwise, you would look for successes elsewhere. For example, I went to a university that was highly selective, and I consider this a success. Or I managed to gather the money for this and that in a very creative way, and this is a success for me. Or I found a loving partner, and this is a success for me. Or I raised, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 beautiful, healthy children, and this is a success for me. So this is the way you define your successes, only according to your values and integrity. And what you usually do is take the feeling of success and apply it to the next thing you want to achieve. But this is a technique that I will discuss in a bit. Now I would like to walk you through the 4 steps of perceiving information. So if you were to say, I am now going to achieve, I don't know, let's ask Anita, what does she want to achieve?
I would like to, so I have a sales job, like you mentioned before in the example. So I would like to achieve the top sales for this year.
Okay, and why?
Because at the moment, maybe it doesn't align with my values, but my company places a high amount of reward to the people who do that as an achievement, as opposed to other things. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, we would have to analyze this in a longer session, let's say, of what is really your drive behind, because the question is whether the question is now for you to think whether you're driven by fear that you may be sacked, let's say, if you're not a top performer, or whether you're driven by a competition or by team spirit. I mean, the drive is something that you would need to analyze, because your drive will be the biggest motivator for you to achieve these sales.
Yeah. Okay.
So you would have to, the why is what drives people. And so, okay, let me explain now about the success mindset, because if you were to say, I just want to achieve these sales and I can do it, and you start making affirmations every day, I'm successful, I'm achieving these sales. So the way we perceive information goes through four stages. The first one is unconscious incompetence. So we don't know that that the way we feel about success, or the way we understand success, or the drive behind what we want to achieve, in this case the why, is what will bring us success. So we're unconsciously incompetent. We don't know. We simply don't know. Or we don't know that if we were to write down our goals and infuse them with feelings, this would actually work. It's mind programming, because it has a very scientific reasoning behind, because this programming unleashes creativity. So you're going to know subconsciously how to sell more. So these are things you don't know, right? You're unconsciously incompetent. Maybe you know them, but I'm just giving an example. When it comes to success mindset, they're unconsciously unknowing. Then there's the next stage, where you're consciously incompetent. You know now that you have to apply these things, but you don't know how. So you know that you don't know. Now you know. Before that, before I told you, hey, you need to know your drive, you didn't know. But now you know, but you just don't know how. The third stage is conscious competence. So it is when you know how and when you start consciously doing it. So you know that every evening I need to remember my successes and infuse my goals with the feeling of this success, and I need to write it down. This is just one tool that you can use, one technique for building a success mindset. So this is conscious competence. Now you know, every evening I sit down and I remember my successes. I joyfully sit in this feeling and I write down what I want to achieve while I'm in this feeling. And the final stage is when you are, when you don't need to think about it anymore. It just becomes natural, and it's called unconscious competence. So you're not consciously thinking about it, but you're competent. So you know that if you call out this feeling of success, or if you have installed in your mindset that you always succeed and that you always achieve what you set your mind to, this is already unconscious competence. And this is what we're all aiming at when it comes to mindset.